Hi, my name is Jessica Isla, and this is Dr. BBL. She's a brain-based learning expert who's going to give me some suggestions on how to better my teaching practice. This project is a representation of Dr. BBL's observations. Welcome to first grade. This is a real picture of my classroom. Last week we had the privilege of having an expert in brain-based learning, Dr. BBL, observe our classroom. Before I begin, I'm going to give you a little background information about brain-based learning. Brain-based learning is a learning theory that is based on the way the brain is structured and functions. During Dr. BBL's visit, she focused on the following 4 elements: approach, priming, novelty, and motivational strategies. Approach. When referring to the term approach, Eric Jensen explained in his book, Brain-Based Learning, The New Paradigm of Teaching, that since learning is connected to the brain, it would only make sense that teachers should use a brain-based approach. Jensen explained that teachers need to present material in a manner that is aligned with the way the brain is designed to work. Jensen claims that some people are right-brain learners who need visuals and creativity, while others are left-brain learners who need structure and logic. He also suggested that teaching to both right and left-brain learners would help engage all types of students. In an article titled Brain-Based Learning, The Scent of the Trail, Amy Gabriel said, "Perhaps appealing to the senses of students will allow their brains to function using their natural processes. If one thinks about the power of learning based on the structure and function of the brain, then having students use their senses to learn about their environments makes sense." With that in mind, here are Dr. BBL's observations and suggestions. Observations. Objectives were posted and easily visible next to the daily schedule and agenda. Teacher addressed all learning, language, and social objectives orally. Throughout the day, there were plenty of visuals. Activities and instructions were repeated 3 different ways and posted for students to see. Suggestions. Add pictures and go over the whole daily schedule and agenda. Left brain. Have students echo each objective or part as you read them. Right brain. Go over all expectations and final results before starting a lesson. Right brain. Include hand and body movement, TPR, and have students mirror your body while you explain. Priming. When referring to the term priming or pre-exposure, Jensen spoke about how important it is for students to have prior knowledge of a specific content area when learning a new subject. He said activate prior learning by reviewing the previous lesson or lessons to reduce learner stress and increase confidence immensely. In order for students to have a successful learning experience, priming needs to take place to properly expose them to a subject, which will then allow for students to prepare to learn. Kaufman et al. Also claimed, to become learner-centered, educators must develop students' understanding of course content by enriching the classroom environment to include physical, emotional, and social aspects, while adjusting the focal point of the classroom from teaching to learning. Here are the observations and suggestions from Dr. BBL. Observations. Teacher used an exploratory report to activate prior knowledge and engage students in high-order thinking. Teacher used a KWL chart to see what students know, what they want to know, and then goes back to fill in what the students have learned after the lesson. Teacher frequently used the carpet area and desk area back and forth to keep and reactivate learning and attention. Suggestions. Right brain. Before starting the KWL chart, explain that this will give a whole idea about what is going to be learned. Right brain. Use visuals and pictures to help support content learning. Right brain. Use chants, songs, pictures, and pre-exposure material. Left brain. Before transitioning, give explicitly detailed directions for what is expected. Novelty. When referring to the term novelty, Jensen stated that 5 keys to enrichment needed to take place in order for a student to obtain novel learning: challenge, novelty, feedback, coherence, and time. After all 5 critical ingredients are met, the brain can be fully enriched. Jensen explained that in order to fully engage learners, the environment should continually be new and multisensory. In the article, Using Action Research to Evaluate the Use of Brain-Based Teaching Strategies in the Classroom, Sarah Smith declared, "Teaching practices can be altered to cater to the functioning of the brain. These alterations can help to optimize student learning." In addition, author Amy Gabriel stated, "Educators are seeking ways that allow students to interact naturally with the environment, experience motions and moods conducive with relaxed alertness, and actively concentrate on processing information. Here are the observations and suggestions from Dr. BBL. Observations. Teacher used technology to deliver lesson. Keynote, Doc Viewer, LCD projector. Teacher checked for understanding, CFU, frequently using thumbs up or thumbs down and blow it in your hand and release. Teacher engaged students in timed face partner, shoulder partner, pair sharings. Teacher provided instant feedback and allowed students to modify responses based on CFUs. Suggestions. Both. Make new charts from information delivered from Keynote. Rotate different charts to display in classroom. Right brain. Try to incorporate a chant, song, or TPR with answer response. Right brain. Give students a choice of which partner they want to use for each pair share. Note. Give brain breaks every 20 minutes or so. Motivational strategies. When referring to the phrase motivational strategies, Jensen mentioned that there were different ways to help teachers maximize motivation in student learning, and many of these strategies are research-based and versatile. Jensen said that the human brain loves to learn, so ultimately motivation creates a non-issue environment for engagement. Since there are some learners that feel a sense of helplessness, a simple change in the brain can result in a change in behavior by intrinsically motivating students to learn. In the article, Coming to Our Senses, Incorporating Brain Research Findings into Classroom Instruction, Barbara Wilms, Lauren Harrington, Patty Kohler, and David Sumter noted that, when speaking to a group, the teacher needs to move around the room, increasing and decreasing distance from the audience. Other strategies included using visual displays to demonstrate content, using authentic objects so that students can feel as well as see them, color code student materials, and turn off the lights momentarily for introspection. So if teachers can give students the tools they need in an environment that is conducive to learning, then theoretically, they should be able to have a successful education. Here are Dr. BBL's observations and suggestions. Observations. Teacher created a very welcoming and safe learning environment. Teacher used many sentence frames which help foster student engagement. Teacher set high expectations for students to use a leveled frame according to their CELT scores. Teacher used many CFUs and gave instant feedback throughout the lesson. Teacher engaged students in high-order thinking using Bloom's taxonomy. Suggestions. Left brain. Make sure that you keep areas neat and organized. Left brain. Make sure you use the same sentence frames consistently throughout the year, allowing predictability. Right brain. Give a few random examples or situations in use of sentence frames. Both. Try letting students give positive feedback to each other to help guide learning. Both. Use a graphic organizer to prompt higher order thinking. Implementation after the feedback. Reference list for articles. Reference list for images.